Hey ladies and gentlemen, Stephen here from the YouTube channel Redolessence. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and watch my videos. It really does mean a lot to me. I appreciate it wholeheartedly. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a closer look at one of the newest releases by the company Initio, and this one is called Oud for Greatness. So stay tuned. So this fragrance is going to be released this year in 2018, in the fall of 2018. As a matter of fact, the official launch event for this fragrance is going to be on November 15th at Osswald Perfumery in Soho in Manhattan. I would like to personally invite you. It's going to be between the hours of 6 and 8. You must RSVP if you are interested in attending. Please come through. It's completely free to attend. I'm going to leave all the information down below. And the reason why you need to RSVP is, one, because the venue can only accommodate a certain amount of people, but they also need to see how many drinks and how much food they should have when it comes to catering the event and appetizers and cordials and stuff like that. So I would love to see you there. Every time I do one of these events with my good friend Carlos from the channel Brooklyn Fragrance Lover, we have so much fun. We love putting a face to the YouTube handle and vice versa. And so please come through. Let's have a good time. You're not obligated to purchase anything, but I would love to see you there. And it is an incredible fragrance. I know that you will love it. It's an oud unlike any other oud that I've tried before. I personally really do enjoy it. So once again, all the information is going to be down below. I would love to meet you. So this fragrance will be released very soon in 2018 in the autumn. I actually did a video with my good friend Carlos where we cover a few different fragrances from the house of Initio. So I'm going to leave a link to that video down below if you're interested in checking it out. We talk about this fragrance, which is Side Effect. And the reason why I'm displaying this fragrance here in this video is so you have some form of comparison so you know what the bottle looks like. But I'll be honest with you, the actual bottle for Oud for Greatness is gorgeous. It's black with gold accents. Here's a picture of the bottle. I'm so excited to get my hands on an actual bottle so I can say it's part of my collection. I can line it up with my other Initios. And truth be told, this is my only other Initio, but this is a house that I have been falling in love with. I definitely love Side Effect, which is kind of like a rum, vanilla, boozy kind of a scent. I also like Blessed Baraka. A lot of their fragrances feature the note of vanilla, which is of course said to be an aphrodisiac. They even have a fragrance called Absolute Aphrodisiac. And so this is a brand that is definitely no slouch when it comes to quality, and this fragrance Oud for Greatness does utilize natural oud oil, which of course is very hard to come by. It's very expensive, and it's said to have a very sort of harmonious and spiritual effect on you. I'm super excited to tell you more about the fragrance, what I get from it, and how I personally feel about it, if I didn't already reveal that much. But let's go ahead and start things off with the presentation. So here's the presentation for Oud for Greatness by Initio. This is a press release bottle, so I don't have an actual bottle, but I do have Side Effect behind it here so I can show it to you as a reference. You just have Initio Oud for Greatness written on the front here, Oud for Greatness, Initio Parfum Privé, very simple presentation, serial number at the bottom. And in terms of the actual bottle, it kind of looks like this. It has the geometrical shapes and the insignia on it. It says Initio Parfum Privé, and the actual bottle for this fragrance, as I showed you in the picture earlier, it will be black with gold accents. It looks absolutely beautiful, some design around the neck as well, and so I love the presentation. Let's continue with the smell. Now, as soon as you spray this fragrance on, the first note that's going to be prominent right off the bat is inevitably the note of oud. It's indicated in the name. There's certainly a lot of oud in this composition, but it's not a fecal, barnyardy, animalistic oud. Initially, I thought I was getting a little bit of that, and I was actually making comparisons between this one and Al-Kat by Xerjoff, which is part of the Oud Stars collection. But the more that I wore it, the more that some of the sweeter elements peek their head through, some of the spices, some of the other aromatic notes start to peek their head through. And I know there's nutmeg in here, there's saffron in here. It doesn't quite smell like a Tuscan leather, which I know has a reputation of being a very sort of leathery, animalic, smoky, ashy, saffron-y kind of a blend. But this one is more of an emphasis on the note of oud. As a matter of fact, I think the closest comparison that I can make to it right now would be Duro by Nasomato, except it's not as dry, it's not as dusty, it's not as leathery, but it's definitely a fragrance that satisfies a lot of those same occasions. So the occasions for which you would wear Duro by Nasomato are the same ones that you would wear this fragrance. The thing that really sets this fragrance apart, however, is the fact that it does have a lot of those spices and aromatic notes in here. The nutmeg definitely brings about this aura of exoticism, whereas the saffron gives you that familiar element, because I think now, especially in the perfume industry, we are seeing a lot more fragrances that contain the note of saffron, especially on the niche side of things. And so this one does utilize that saffron note. It complements the oud very well. And then in the base, you have a little patchouli, a little musk, but neither one of those notes kind of overpower the other. I would probably say that the note that I get the most strongly in the base is the patchouli, but it's not a patchouli that you can instantly pick up on. So if I were to have you smell this fragrance and I said to you, what notes do you get mostly out of this? You would say it's spicy and it's woodsy. I don't think anybody would say it's green or verdant. I don't think anybody would pick up on the note of patchouli, but when you start to think about it and you think of other fragrances that convey a similar olfactory profile, you know that patchouli is one of those notes that contribute to that overall smell. And I do know that patchouli is used in this scent. The more you dig your nose deeper into it, the more that note of patchouli becomes a lot more apparent to you. The musk is there, but it's just kind of serving as a base, just a warm blanket for everything to sort of rest on, but it's really all about the oud. This is a masculine scent if I ever smelled one. Obviously, if you're a lady and you feel comfortable wearing this one and you love the smell, nobody is telling you that you shouldn't wear it. I do believe that when it gets released, it will be classified as a unisex fragrance, which is all well and good, and I actually totally agree with that. But I do think there is a prominent level of woods in this scent that I think a lot of people would lean a little bit more towards the masculine side when they're asked to describe or classify or pigeonhole the scent, which I know is something that we shouldn't be doing, but it's kind of something that people do in the industry. I love this scent. For an oud-based scent, I know I made a couple comparisons. I mentioned Alcat by Xerjoff. I also mentioned Duro by Nasamato. But truth be told, this is an oud scent all of its own. I know I mentioned before very slightly, I kind of glossed over the fact that there are some sweet elements in here. I know it sounds like a crazy comparison, but there were even times when I even got like hints of Baccarat Rouge 540 by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. It's not sweet in any way, but there's something about the complexity of the ingredients that it kind of evokes something that the perfumer Francis Kurkdjian would make. So something from the oud collection, whether it be silk mood or satin mood or one of those mood fragrances. But this is a truly incredible scent. It's a gorgeous composition. It's one that I have been loving. I've been wearing it for the past week and a half to 2 weeks, and I have been really enjoying it thoroughly. And I'm so excited that there is going to be this event. I highly urge you, if you are in the area, please attend. You will not be disappointed, and you're not obligated to purchase anything, like I said before, but as long as you show up, we'll have conversation, we'll have a couple of drinks, you get a chance to smell it for yourself and really just admire the gorgeous presentation. I think they're also going to be doing tarot readings at the event. They're going all out for this event. So if you are in the area, stop by, come through. I would love to meet you. And if you are a familiar face, I would love to see you again. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, despite the fact that I was able to make a few other comparisons, I do think this is an incredibly unique fragrance. It's something that I've definitely fallen in love with. I will be upgrading to a full-size bottle. You can best believe that. And when I do, I'd be more than happy to do a giveaway on this one. Not in this video, but in the future. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Subscribe so you don't miss that giveaway. In terms of longevity, this one actually lasted a lot longer than I expected it to. I'm typically happy and content when fragrances last about 7 to 8 hours because that's my typical work day. This one lasted 10 plus hours. And even after you wash your hands, you're still getting whiffs and remnants and shadows of this fragrance, and so it does linger on skin. It's highly concentrated, and the oud oil that's used in here is highly concentrated as well. In terms of the projection, loud. Despite the fact that it doesn't have a lot of volatile notes, namely citrus, it's still quite loud when you spray it on, but I wouldn't say it's as loud as some of its citrusy counterparts. And so whereas those citrus-based fragrances that are very volatile will give you a solid hour and a half of projection, this one gave you 45 minutes of projection, but it was still there. A lot of the ingredients that are in here definitely make a bold and strong presence, and it has an identity that is definitely unabashed, unapologetic. I really quite enjoy it for that reason. In terms of the versatility, I think it is compromised somewhat just because oud as an ingredient, it's not something that everybody loves. So there are people who dislike oud, there are people who dislike vetiver, there are people who dislike vanilla, believe it or not. And so I think that this is one that you definitely have to sample before you buy. Unless you know you're a lover of oud fragrances, it's a little bit safer to make that purchase, but this is one that I would not recommend for everybody. But if you're in the market for something that definitely smells smells different, exotic, woodsy, leaning on the masculine side, a little bit spicy with a musky base. I think this one would definitely be in your wheelhouse. I personally really enjoy it. So Duro by Nasomato, I said before, is one of my favorite fragrances, and as much as I really enjoy that one, the fact that this one is like maybe 50% similar, I by default already really like this one, but I love that it goes in a different direction. It's such a great scent. In terms of the seasons, I think this one is fall and winter, but mostly winter because it does have such a loud presence about it. And I do think it leans masculine, but anyone can wear it. Wear what you like, wear what makes you happy. Don't let other people tell you what you should wear. In terms of the presentation, stellar. Even though I don't have it in front of me, I've seen the press release, I've seen the images, it looks amazing. My final verdict on this one, just on a personal level, my opinion alone, I love this scent. I really do. Obviously, I have just a small amount that I'm working with. I've been wearing a little bit of it. And so when it comes time for me to upgrade to a full-size bottle, I will have a more informed opinion of how I personally feel, how it ranks against some of my other beloved fragrances. But as of right now, I really enjoyed the scent. I thoroughly enjoy it. I think you will like it as well, especially if you are a fan of oud. I can see this one being one of their most successful releases to date, despite the fact that this one is great, Absolute Aphrodisiac is great, Blessed Baraka is great, but I think this one will take the cake in terms of their best release just because it's so unique, it's so different, and there's that level of complexity about it. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my review of Oud for Greatness, part of the Black Gold collection from the brand Initio. This is their brand new release. I'm so privileged and honored to have had the opportunity to review this press release bottle that was sent to me by the company. Thank you so much. But as always, I like to keep things real and honest with you guys. I have a genuine fondness and appreciation for fragrances, and so I have a very open mind when it comes to these things, and so I really do enjoy the scent, and I think you guys will too. Once again, if you are in the area, I would love to meet you in person or just to say hello, so make sure to stop by at Osswald Perfumery. I'm going to leave all the links down below, the RSVP email, the phone number, all the information you would need if you're interested in attending the event, and please do make sure to RSVP by November 13th to secure your spot for the event. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.